What is my rapper gang? In this video, I want to talk about people liking you, people becoming fans of you, and how you can guarantee that every person is going to become a fan of you and your music in hip hop, in any genre. Let's talk about this really quick. I'm just gonna make this quick video. How many artists did you hate on? I don't know why I struck a sexy pose right there. Like, ignore that, cut that out of the video. No. But seriously, how many artists did you hate on when you first heard them that you then eventually started liking? How many artists, right? And if you're an honest person, you know it's almost every artist you listen to now. It's very rare you hear an artist and go, yo, this dude's so dope. First time I've ever heard of him. I love him. Whoa. Huge fan. At the very bare minimum, the least is not a word, neither are words, and I know that, shut up. But you at least aren't like a huge fan off the bat. You have things that you dislike or things that you're not really a fan of about them, potentially. You're not like consuming everything they release, right? So when it comes to you considering how you can make everybody a fan of you, the real answer is this. Well, hold on, so think about that. You weren't immediately a fan of somebody, and if you dislike somebody, you probably eventually became a fan of them. And I'll give you a great example from my world so you understand exactly what I'm talking about. 50 Cent, Rick Ross beef. Huge 50 Cent fan right here, okay? Like, who isn't a fan of
It's 50.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a fan of 50. So, like, when him and Rick Ross were beefing, I was like, hell, nope, don't even do it. Don't even put it, okay? And I want to hear it. 50's better, da-da-da-da-da, which realistically, you know what I'm saying? Especially at the time. But what happens is, it doesn't matter what my opinion was then because I was closed-minded to even liking that artist. Then, I actually paid attention. And I was like, oh, yo, this is hard. Like, yo, this is hard. Like, I like this a lot. But what happens is, when did that happen? That didn't happen for like 6 years after that. You get me? People may not like you now. Who cares? You know what has to happen for them to like you? Only one moment has to happen where somebody either shows you the music or you stumble across something for them to become a fan of you. Don't worry if they're a fan of you now or not. Don't worry if they're hating on you right now. Remember hearing the saying that a lot of people say, like, oh, if you're a hater, you're just a closet fan, right? Because at least you're paying attention. You're really giving me your energy. Whether you're a fan out of the music, you a fan of me because you was like basically stalking me. And I got a lot of those, bro. I got some real haters, bro.
Them hoes mad.
And I'm like, for 10 years, bro, everything I post, don't even get me started. At this point, I'm like, this guy's in love with me. Like, I got so many people like, yo, what's wrong with you? Anyway, so what's the key to making people fans of you?
Wait.
The key is right there. It's right in front of you. The key is the consistency, the never stopping. The tipping point happens, which is a point where everybody just, boom, all at once notices you because you put so much work in, right? That happens. The bricks have been laid for years. That hard work has been put in for years, and then suddenly everybody just becomes a fan of you. And then even the people who aren't a fan of you, from then on, your goal is now to keep going, the consistency, and you spread person to person, one person to one person over time, every day, gaining new fans, only if you're consistent. Because your window of your popularity, when people are talking about you, the longer you keep that window open, the broader you go. You're not set to just one size fan base when you blow up, oh, I got 1 million fans. And this seems like it's kind of common sense as I'm saying it, but it's not, because the other 1 million people come just from you being consistent. Another year, another year, another year. For me, for Rick Ross, it was 6 years after he was already like beefing with 50, which is like 3 or 4 years after he was already popular. It took me 10 years of him being out for me to like him, right? And if you really think about artists like Tech Nine, this is a reason why Tech Nine has a success that he has, but he didn't have it until his 40s. Damn, he had a very underground, much smaller fan base. He was signed in 92. He didn't really blow up till 2012. I think it was a 6s and 7s album, and then really become massively commercially popular until he did that song with Kendrick, which was radio play worthy because it was an artist of the magnitude of Kendrick. You get me? So it took him from 1992 to like 2017, because he kept going.
I'll wait.
The man is consistent. The man tours over 300 days a year. The man's getting his money. The man it just keeps going, right? And that's why he was able to do that. That was a buildup of him building fans underground for years, because he doesn't make commercial music, so it took him a lot longer. He stuck to his guns. He makes the music he makes. He's a phenomenal rapper. Phenomenal, right? And that accumulation, the amalgamation of all the people across the nation coming together. Bars. That, over time, one person to one person, is what allowed him to have that push and that momentum to get to that level. And it won't take you that long if your style is unique enough and new enough. You know what I'm saying? If you're really capable of making like really crazy good hooks. Also marketing, there's a lot that goes on with the reason why it took him so long. Then I'm gonna get into that. But that's what made it possible. You know, I heard about Tech Nine in I'm a player. Like freshman year of high school or something like that. Like, I don't even know when the hell that was. Like, forever ago. Didn't become a fan of him until I did a label deal with the same label that backs everything that he does, which is RBC. And I did the deal with them in 2015. And they were like, oh, he's on label too. And then it kind of like removed this barrier I had in me. I was like, oh, I'm on the same label as him. I like him too. And then, you know what I'm saying? I like listened to his stuff. I'm like, yo, this is actually fire, right? But that was the moment that turned it all for me. It took for me knowing him from like freshman year, like 10 years later before I was like, I was listening to like that song then, but I didn't become a fan or even, I didn't know that was him until 10 years later.
Oh, God.
I'm just telling you, it's consistency. You have to understand you're not just doing this for now, you're doing this for the long haul, man. You gotta remember, you cannot stop once you start. You're not allowed to stop after you start. You know how much money you lose? How many people could become fans of you just because you won an extra year? You know how much money you could have made to invest into your career, to further yourself even more and just keep going up the mountain, or invest in real estate, or invest in companies to really be worth like tens of millions, $100 million. That doesn't happen unless you keep the consistency. You cannot build an empire off of one song or 1 year worth of work after you get popular. You cannot. It's not gonna happen.
No.
So the whole point is, people are going to like you eventually. Just keep going. It may take time, but I also want this to be a little bit of fire that's under you 3 years from now, 5 years from now, after you already have a fan base, whatever, to be like, man, I remember when Rob said that, like, to build an empire, to get to that level, I do have to keep going because these other people are gonna become my fans as I spread person to person. You gain new fans every day that you keep going and you keep releasing new music. You're gaining new fans as long as the music is good. As long as you're not half-assing anything and you're putting your all into it. I'm telling you right now, your energy, your spirit, your love, your passion, that pours into the music when you really care. And you know when you don't care that it doesn't. So keep going, right? What I've been telling y'all, keep hustling, and I'll see you at the top. And so will everybody else.
Pockets already fed, I ain't gotta fudge the numbers. Could've made it, then I put in 2 extra summers. So high up now, all I see is buses. I even step outside. We got a jumper. I ain't even in the type of up. Shooting for the biggest in the game. Out of 300, so small, I can't even try to be dumb. If I give you my numbers, probably missing the number. Oh, you wanna hate on me, we'll get in line. I'll be fine. People treating me like working hard a crime. Out of time, I'm like, why you even mind? You got no mind, do you mind? That's why love and trust in me so deep that shit get hard to find.